Welcome to another video on my robotic arm and pneumatic hand, robotic wrist with a pivot control of my arm and a compressor. Last time I reconstructed the compressor engine and I realized when testing it that I made a little construction error where it comes to the finger, or the thumb actually. During construction and testing I realized also that this motor is not very stable, and I was under the impression that it was this construction, but when I look at the construction of this pivot motor, it has a worm wheel and an axis, and the other end is also stabilized. So this is no problem. Looking at the motor of the wrist, it is a very short distance. There's no room for any deviation. There's no axis, it's just directly on the gear. So looking here, the problem is that it has an axis, but it is not stabilized, and it can't be stabilized because here there is no room for another construction where the axis is put in. So this way it can't be improved. What can be done is making a slightly different construction, where right now the gear is using the inner teeth of this gear, while a worm gear uses the outer teeth of the gear, and I want to replace the gear in this way situation by this one. So right now let me take it out. Alright, so you see the difference. This one has another axis. It can be put in here, but in this construction there is no place for this axis. There's no room for it. So with a little reconstruction, let's just take this one out. And this one in. So I can try to reconstruct it completely so it is driving it with the outer teeth, and see if that makes a stabler construction. Should be. So that that's what I'm focusing on for now. And in order to make it sure that it happens, this should be it. It will not touch the ground. So when I do it like this, something like this, it will work out, hopefully. Alright, let's start another motor reconstruction. Alright, for starters I have to remove this part and this, because these are still necessary to keep the motor in place. And this one is, these ones are not, so this will still be there. Yes. Then the big question is, what next? Well, for now this can go. Next thing is, how exactly do I position this? It has to be like this, something. And that immediately poses a question. How do I mount it? Well, I may use this one. So let me be careful and shift it on here. And push that down. Let's see how this works out. Doesn't come close enough. So I need to shift it more there. So in comes this part. Oops. Alright, that's equal. Does that work? Does that work anyway? And I have trouble pushing it out again. That is because of this part. Okay, so it needs to be somewhere in the middle, and putting it in somewhat lower, and then it will work. So I need to find a solution to have it right here. Question is how. In this construction the worm gear is actually a little bit high. Only the lowest ridge of the worm gear grips into the gear. But it is stabilized on both ends now, and for a better result I should actually make this construction lower and on the other side. But let's first see if I can get enough speed out of this, because that's important too. How fast can I make it go? So I am starting the diagnostics interface once again. And it says it doesn't see the controller, which is correct. And let's try again. That is better. Now it is checking motor 1 on the main. This is as fast as it goes. With this one. Can I make it go faster with another motor? Because this is not as fast as I want. Actually, this is very slow. With the motor running, the worm wheel, it is stable. Yes, it is. But that's all. And let me show you the speed of the compressor. You can see it right here. This should be up and down, up and it should be like this. Well, it's not even a thought of this right now with the motor at maximum speed. So while the idea is nice, yeah, time for another idea on either driving or the motor. Oopsie. For testing, I have replaced the 8-to-1 with a 20-to-1. So let's see how that works. Yeah. So that is certainly not going to work. So I better replace this motor again with the original 8-to-1 because this is really way too slow. But then unfortunately the worm wheel turns out to be too slow to operate. So once again, as fast as it can and as fast as it goes, but this is not going to compress. So this brings me back to the original gear, which was as fast as I need. But how do I stabilize it? That is a very good question now. Because this gear has to go like here, and then I have to stabilize it somehow. And now the question is, how? Because this stabilized, yes. Speed, not by a long shot. I have two options. One is going back to this type of gear. Downside is that I can't stabilize it without an axis in here and then putting it under an angle again. But given this type of gear, that's not going to work. Another option is to replace this gear, this large wheel gear, with this one. Much smaller, but when applied with this worm gear it will be much faster. So in order to do that I'm going to take this away for now. Let's see if I can do that without too much problem. Then yeah, let me lift it out. And you see how close this is to the gear, which I'm not very comfortable with. And then remove the gear. Alright. And now I should be able to completely take it out. Alright. I need to remove other parts as well. So that is one. Put this in place, and then I will have to see how I can put this instead. Some way or another. And this would then be the best thing. So it's going to be somewhat closer, smaller gear, and let's have a try with this. So all right. Now let's, oh wait, I still have to fix it. Alright, that's better. So now, without all the protection, let's give it a try. See how fast this works. Maximum speed, and this is a little bit ouch because this gear isn't as fixed yet. Alright, let's see how it works now. Well, the gear moves much faster, but I wonder about one other thing. Looking at the speed of the compressor, it's not very tight to the axis, so that is a problem. And I'm not sure how to solve that. have tightened the connection of this gear to the axis even more. I'm holding the worm gear by hand, and now take a look at the compressor. This. So right now it is absolute maximum. While this is going faster than the big gear, it's by no means fast enough. It has to go 3 times, 4 times as fast. So I'm afraid that the only conclusion is that the worm gear will not work, and with this faster motor only this is going to work. With the accompanying problem that I have to make a solution for this. So somehow I have to do this in combination with this, and then you see the problem. How do I do that? I might stick in a bigger axis, longer axis, to have it somehow here, but even then not quite sure how to solve it. But one thing is sure, worm gear and this gear, or worm gear and this gear, is sure no solution for a speedy compression. Oops. So back to an original idea and hopefully solution. The only possible solution that I can think of is using this short gear, no axis, and putting it right on the big gear that I have put back in place. The only point is how to connect this. I will have the speed that I need for the compression, but this distance I may use this, although it's not directly under each other. I may have to take and use these corner pieces again. See how I can make somehow a connection back here. Will this be stable? I doubt it, but it's the only solution I can think of right now. So putting it like this won't go. 45 degrees angle, maybe, or any angle for that matter. As long as it works, I'm happy. So yeah, after all the things I've tried, this may be the only solution left for now, and all because the compressor needs speed to make a good compression, otherwise it takes way too long. As you can see, I have made a very different construction now for the motor. I have the same gear now as with the wrist, and well, needless to say, what it depends upon. The only problem is that this distance is slightly too large. Ideally it should have just half of one such an element, and then it would be great gripping into the gear. Right now, if I run it, it has the speed I want, the compressor speed I want. The only downside of it is that this gear grips just the edge of the inner teeth. Here's an edge which holds the outer teeth, and it just touches the edge, and I don't like that. I want to have it right in the middle, having the edge. So like this, if I hold it, this would be ideal. So when I let it go, you hear the oncoming noise that you don't hear now. And this is it. So even at this speed it's alright, but when I let it go I don't like it. But regarding, I'm considering all the other options I've tried and that are possible, worm gear, different setup. I think this is the best I can do. Well, until I find a better solution. Another thing I do not like is the fact that the motor is outside of the construction plate. But with the height of the controller casing, it's not possible to make it here. So this is the best I can do for now. With this motor fixed now, I still have the thumb and finger problem that I haven't got any time for in this episode. So next time I will focus on that primarily, see if I can solve it. And I think that's it for now. So with this compressor and this problem with the finger that comes here, because I can do this and it goes through, but if it is done gently it sticks here. So that needs a little fixation. And for that, that's it for now. So thank you for watching. If you like this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. If you don't want to subscribe for any reason, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And you may also consider to make a small donation to keep this blog and videos going. For more info on donation and other projects, please see my website. And this is certainly going to be continued. Once again, thank you for watching. Bye bye.